School, it's time for the Time Warner Sports Prep Football Game of the Week. Tonight, a Woodland Conference battle between the Cudahy Packers and the St. Francis Mariners. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Brainerd. This is longtime head coach at Sussex Hamilton, Stan Grove. And Stan, the cream of the crop in the Woodland South Division just might be again the Greendale Panthers. They were at state last year. They finished as the runners-up. They're off to an undefeated, great start again this season. But behind them, perhaps trying to jockey for position, playoff position, and finish in second place behind Greendale, these two football clubs, St. Francis and Cudahy. So this game very important tonight.
Obviously, it's important for both teams. Probably a little bit more important for Cudahy as they stand a step behind St. Francis in the conference standing. But Coach Sarver knows that Cudahy is going to be primed for them this year because last year, in the first meeting of these two teams, St. Francis eked out a victory.
Yeah, that victory, 1917, St. Francis over Cudahy in 2006. The only other meeting between these two schools that are just a mile apart. You would think, perhaps, that the rivalry has been going on for years and years, but no, this is just the second time they've ever met. And a contrast in coaches, Stan, you've got the experience against the relatively young guy in the conference.
That's very true. Doug Sarver, 18 years head coach at St. Francis, has had his team up to Madison. He knows what it's all about. But at the same time, Coach Steve Madden is a very quality young coach in the area, and he's ready to show this area that the Cudahy Packers are back on the prowl.
We will shine the light on the quarterbacks tonight. Very key for both these offenses to get on track and put points on the board. Starting with Cudahy, they have a senior running at the controls.
Yeah, Scott Sukic catches a very talented running quarterback. He scrambles a lot, can find the open man, and I think we're going to see him putting the ball up quite a bit tonight.
And Cody Knapp is the quarterback for the St. Francis Mariners, and a little different QB than they've had in the past. This guy a little bit more traditional quarterback, isn't he, Stan?
He certainly is. 6'4", stands in the pocket, can throw the ball very well, and he's also capable of putting up big numbers in that passing attack.
Now, as we mentioned, it's only the second meeting ever between these two schools on the football field. Perhaps, Stan, a rivalry starting to build between these neighbors along the lake?
There's no doubt about it. St. Francis, Cudahy, it's going to be a long time before this rivalry is matched.
We are along Lake Michigan, and we're also in the flight path over Mitchell Field. It's homecoming here at Cudahy, and the kickoff is coming your way next, right here on Time Warner Sports. Time Warner Sports. Wisconsin sports. Local sports like never before. High school, college, wave, admirals, golf, fishing, sports talk. It's all here. Time Warner Sports, Channel 32.
There's always something new and exciting on Wisconsin On Demand, Channel 1111.
River Bend Nature Center is rested quietly along the banks of the Root River in Racine.
First and 10 from the 23. Wolf on the pitch. Nothing doing.
Tune in to Digital Channel 1111 now for new programs that highlight all that's great about Wisconsin. Only on Time Warner Digital Cable.
Welcome back to Cudahy. The Packers will get the football first. Ready to boot it away. Chris Hemmer. Deep for the Packers. Nicholas Abradarius. And the ball squirts out of bounds. After it's fielded, they'll start first and 10 right at the 20-yard line. Packers coming into this game 2-3 overall in the season, 2-2 in conference play. And St. Francis 3-2 overall, 3-1 in conference play. We talked about the Greendale Panthers. Both these squads have lost to Greendale this season, so still plenty of football to be played, but Panthers, in the eyes of both coaches, the team to beat anyway in this conference, so they'll jockey for playoff position. First and 10 at the 20. And Abradarius on the carry is going to lose yardage, about 5 yards on the carry.
Oh, great job out there by the left end and the strong safety for St. Francis. They really spread the field that time and gave the ball to their ace back. St. Francis was ready for it.
Aberdarius, a wide receiver, senior wide receiver. Loss of 4 in the play, 2nd and 14. Shou Zhang in the backfield. Sea catch over the middle. Intended for Aberdarius again. That one in and out of his hands, so it'll bring down 3rd down and long for the Packers.
Well, there was some great pressure put on that time by Sam Rouge, and it's a precarious start here for the Packers. St. Francis seems up to the task.
Precarious indeed.
St. Francis is perennially very strong defensively, and they chose to take defense here at the beginning of the game as they won the toss.
Solid defensive front up there. 2 juniors, a senior and a sophomore, the strength of this team. And they'll be good again next year. 3rd down and long, sea catch pressured. Out there to the flat, it falls incomplete, intended for Ryan Post. Nothing doing, so 3 and out for the Packers on their first offensive series.
Well, that was a intended screen pass out to the left, but it was well defended by the St. Francis defense. Tony Urbanik was right up there to make the play.
Jameen Chilson is deep for the Mariners, along with number 5, Tyler Bostedt. Punt coming from Robert Hill. Off the side of the foot, end over end. He'll get it past the 40-yard line, but the Mariners in good field position to start their first offensive series. 1st and 10 at the Cudahy 43.
Well, this is just the type of start that Coach Sarver was wanting. He said he wanted to play a field position game tonight, and he's got a great start. We'll see how his offense can do against this stout Cudahy D.
And that offensive line of the Mariners is not what you're used to seeing. They've had some big bodies up front, some big bodies that are now playing Division I football. We'll talk more about that. This line is work in progress. 1st and 10 at the 43. On the pitch, cutting around the left corner. Will Frisch carries the football. Now 6 different bodies, up to 6 different bodies, can carry the football for St. Francis. Frisch is one of the featured backs, but all 6 guys give you different looks in that backfield.
They run out of the power I, and that was a typical power I power sweep, and picked up only 3. A good job by Cudahy on the left side of their line.
Thomas Farah and Frisch are the 2 featured backs of those 6. Frisch goes up the gut that time. Mario Schianini will come out of the backfield, and then there's also a sophomore fullback, Evan Biller, who's more of a power back. So you've got the power, you've got the edge, and you've got the receiving backs out of the backfield. Never know who to really key on. And so St. Francis with lots of options. They'll need it here on 3rd and 3. Knapp going to go to the air. Deep downfield. Caught. Touchdown Mariners. Hooking up with Tyler Bostedt. 36-yard touchdown. And we talked about the running game, but the passing game opened up there nicely over the middle, Stan.
Tyler Bostedt just came into the game. He was one of the setbacks, and he's normally a blocker back there. Took it around the corner and was wide open down the field. A great play by the St. Francis offense. Perfectly thrown ball by Corey Knapp.
Knapp will set it down. Hemmer will boot it up. And the PAT is good. And so 3 and out for the Packers. And the Mariners, 3 plays and this touchdown. The play action helped there too, didn't it, Stan?
Absolutely. Again, this was the same power I set just to the left-hand side. Bostedt came around his tight end and split the middle of the field. Great throw by Corey Knapp. This is a big start for the Mariners. Coach Sarver was a little bit concerned about his young team playing at St. Francis for the first, or at Cudahy for the first time. But it looks like they didn't have any jitters on that drive.
Well, heck, they could walk here.
That's very true.
The high schools, if you're not familiar, both along Lakeshore Drive and about a mile away. In fact, one of our producers back at Time Warner Sports got the MapQuest out and said it's less than a mile. Just a tick under. So yeah, you can put the pads and helmet on and take a little stroll and be here for the football game. Hammer will boot it again. This time, good boot all the way into the end zone, so touchback time, and the Packers will start 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Well, the momentum certainly is in favor of St. Francis at this time. Now's the time when that Cudahy Packer offense has got to put something on the board, at least to get to field position. Seacatch has got them out in a twin set to the right.
On 1st and 10 at the 20. Everybody comes in on the blitz for St. Francis. Zong, I believe, the carry. No, that's Post. Check that, Ryan Post, the senior running back, on the carry. And while it's easy for the Mariners to get here, it's also easy for the fans to make the trek just a mile south.
We have a great crowd tonight. Both stands are filled almost to maximum. Of course, it's homecoming for Cudahy. We would expect that there, but St. Francis is a nice following as well.
Pickup of 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7. Seacatch, play action, going to roll to his right. Fires downfield. In and out of the hands of Aberderis. Oh, my.
Well, that was a terrific throw. I think Aberderis would like to have another opportunity at that one.
Perhaps a little sneak peek downfield to see if he had running room, and Aberderis forgot to reel that football in, so it brings down 3rd down and 7 for Cudahy. That would have been a 1st down and then some.
That would have been a big play, brought the ball out to near midfield.
Now Scott Seacatch in the shotgun on 3rd and 7. Flushed. Fires. Complete. 1st down. Hooks up with Jacob Wall over there. Wall, the big senior tight end, 6'3", 215. Connection good enough to move the chains.
Well, that was a terrific throw by Seacatch. He was under extreme pressure and put the ball right on the money. Picked up 9 yards. 1st down.
Wall, one of the better tight ends in the area. And Seacatch, the senior, hooking up with another senior there. Cozy combination there. 1st and 10 to 31. Option pitch. Post. Squirms away over the 40-yard line, and flags fly at the end of the play. See if we can pick up what happened.
Well, it was the option. Nice job of drawing the defense. Looks like we might, whoa. Looks like the late hit was one of his own men. Oh, look, they're talking to St. Francis. We must have a...
Got to be a hold.
Hold, I would think, downfield, yes.
Our referee is Jeff Arnold. He and his crew working this contest tonight. So a good run by Post, negated, wiped out. Football goes back to the 30-yard line.
Well, there was a hold right at the end of the run, so we're back to 1st down and 10.
Yeah, really didn't need to hold whoever the culprit was, because Post was getting the yardage all on his own, thank you very much. Instead, 1st and 10 back at the 31. Seacatch, quick flip over there. In and out of the hands again. Aberderis, he's got to reel that football in. First things first, Stan. Get the football tucked away in the breadbasket, then look downfield.
Yeah, he's having a start that he'd rather forget, I think. But at the same time, that ball was rifled out there, and they had some yardage had he been able to catch the ball.
brings up 2nd down and 10. Abadaris spread to the top of your screen. At the bottom, Matt Lopata. Seacatch dumps it off to post. And no running room, in fact, backwards.
Well, that
for the
was
Packers again.
Another great play defensively for St. Francis defense. The first time they did not play the option very well, but this time they played it extremely well.
Initial hit made there by number 51, Mike Paquette. Big senior offensive lineman, 6'2". And now the Packers faced with a 3rd and 12.
Well, they had an illegal shift in there, and I'm expecting that the Mariners will refuse that one.
Yeah, they'll take the loss and the down and try and stuff them here on 3rd down and force Cudahy to punt for the 2nd time tonight. But the Packers see if they have a play up their sleeve here to get this dozen and another 1st down. Seacatch will work out of the shotgun. Abadaris behind him goes in motion and now splits to the top. Lots of time for Seacatch. Downfield. In and out of the hands of Matt Lopata. Good coverage over there for the Mariners by number 83, Damian Wetzel, to help distract Lopata from reeling this one in.
You know, that was terrific coverage by Wetzel, but at the same time, that ball was perfectly thrown and just off the fingertips of the receiver. Another 3 and out coming up here. Well, they did get a 1st down, but that offense stalled at this point.
Chilson and Bostad deep to receive this punt. Bostad, fair catch at the last second. And takes a few steps, but he'll have to stay put at the 40-yard line of St. Francis. And for the Mariners, beating this one 7-0. We'll set up shop. So far in the season for St. Francis, they lost their opening game to Whitefish Bay. Won 2 in a row, beat New Berlin West and Tulsa West. And as we mentioned, they lost to Greendale and won last week against Whitnall. So there you go with the 3 and 2 mark. 1st and 10 at the 40. On the give. Frisch. And big head of steam and some running room. Got about 7 yards in that 1st down carry. 2nd down and 3 coming up.
Well, that was actually well defended, but a missed tackle allowed Frisch to get out there for a gain of a good 7. It's a good 1st down play.
2nd and 3.
You saw Frisch just push bodies aside, including some of his own. And the effort worth 7 yards. 2nd and 3. Knapp, quick give.
Now a little inside fullback trap off from the wing T set. Picked up nearly 3 yards, just short of the 1st down.
Mario Schiani, one of those 6 backs we talked about and mentioned. Schiani just short of midfield, and that's where they need to get for the 1st down. So 3rd down and literally inches for the Mariners to move the chains.
Mariners are switching personnel in their backfield. Now they come out in a straight T.
On the give, stacked up, but should be enough for the 1st down.
I think he made that 1st down.
That's Evan Biller. He's one of the fullbacks that provides the power
1st down,
in that backfield. Mariners stand used to be strictly just run, run, run. They would build up that big offensive line over the years. Remember Jose Valdez? He's now playing at Arkansas. Josh Oglesby, of course, is up at Wisconsin. Those guys, Valdez was 6'5", 307. Oglesby, 6'8", 312. When you got bodies like that pushing the 300 mark in high school, you can run the football plenty.
Absolutely, and Coach Sarver he loves that power football game, and we're seeing that again here tonight. Short gain on that play.
Yeah, it's a little different offensive line. It's younger, obviously, and not as big as it's been in the past. But Knapp, on the other hand, again, Stan talked about him in the open. He's a tall kid, and he can put the football up. He's going to try right here on second down, complete. Sciani, first down and then some. Banged around the Mariners sideline, but he gets down to the 37-yard line, and another first down for St. Francis.
Well, that was a great play by Knapp. He had a lot of pressure put on him, but he flared the ball out to his wingback, and a nice gain on the play.
And you can see Knapp just with that big 6'4" frame. There you see the digits on him coming into this contest tonight. Certainly gave him time to move those feet and get that pass up and over the defense. First down carry here, banging the line, Thomas Farah, and then banged backwards.
Yeah, that was a great hit over there by number 2 for the Cudahy defense.
Yeah, Derek Falkowski leveling the hammer, the big senior defensive end.
6'3", 190-pound senior. He put all of it into that hit. Actually, it looked like a fumble, but there was a quick whistle on the play.
Gain of 1 in the play, second down and 9, beg your pardon. Packers show blitz, now back off. Knapp to the air, over the middle, complete.
Another great throw.
That's Farah. Thomas Farah out of the backfield, and that's what's also dangerous about these Mariners running backs and halfbacks, tailbacks, fullbacks, whatever.
They're having great success right down the middle of the field. The Packers are doing a nice job of covering the perimeter, but they've been a little susceptible in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that's where the touchdown came. So 1st and 10th and 19. On the pitch. And into the pile.
Picks up about 3.
Frisch again. It is. So those backs, while they can power behind the offensive line and give you different looks, they can also catch passes out of the backfield, as you saw 2 plays ago.
Well, the Packers are going to take a timeout. I think they've got to shore up their defense a little bit here. They've been susceptible to the pass, and St. Francis has just been kind of nickel and diming them on the running game, but have been getting big plays throwing the ball.
Mentioned Cudahy's record coming to this one, 3-2 overall. Lost their first 2 games of the season to Brookfield East and then the Pewaukee Pirates. Then won 2 in a row. Defeated Shorewood Messmer and then Greenfield. And then last week, back in the loss column, but can't hang their heads. It came against Greendale. Greendale's an awfully good football team once again.
Now they're definitely the favorite to win this Woodland Conference. They've got a terrific defense as per usual, and their offense is able to put points on the board. They have a great passing attack.
So these 2 teams, as we mentioned, both losing to Greendale already, so you shake it off and you look forward instead of backwards. And playoff positions and slots, brackets, what have you, still up for grabs. Play action again, dump off to the flat. Mario Sciani reels that one in, and the Mariners again knocking on the door.
Now they're down on the 78-yard line. Another 10-yard gain via the pass.
You saw the fake in the backfield to Frisch, and then Knapp just rolled there and hook up with Sciani.
Knapp's faking in the backfield is really freezing the linebackers for Cudahy.
2nd down and 8. Straight ahead football that time. Biller on the carry. Going to bring up 3rd down.
Picks up about 2.
About 6. So 2nd down and 6 now. Snap, play action, to the corner, touchdown Mariners.
Same play as before.
Yep.
Great job.
Mario Schiani, 6-yard hookup that time. You're right, Stan. The freeze right there.
Yep.
And then Knapp does a great job of rolling out, getting some separation, and flipping that ball into number 7 for the touchdown. It's 13-0 St. Francis.
Well, right now, Cudahy's got some serious problems with their defense. They're really going to have to shore that up.
Chris Hemmer, PAT, is good. And still 3:17 to go in the first quarter, and looks like the Mariners didn't get the memo. They're supposed to let the home team win on homecoming. They're up 14-zip.
You're going to have a hard time convincing any visiting coach to let the home team have a good game. Well, this game is early in the first quarter yet, and certainly Cudahy is going to be able to come back, but they've got to get something going with their offense on this series.
Chris Hemmer, number 20, is going to boot it away for St. Francis. Interesting bio on him, if you will. Hemmer, while he goes to St. Francis High School, is a soccer player, and he plays soccer for the Cudahy Packers. Yes, he practices from 3 to 3:30. He practices football, and then he probably walks down to Cudahy and gets on the soccer field. So how about that?
That is a rather unique situation. However, it's which uniform you got on at the time.
And tonight he's wearing the red, gold, and black of the Mariners. They have a co-op soccer team, by the way. That's why someone from St. Francis can play soccer for Cudahy as well. Abadaris tries to get ahead of steam, gets it out past the 27-yard line. So the Packer offense, 3-and-out their first series. They did a better job in the second series moving the football, but went backwards at times. A couple penalties sprinkled in there. And now we'll see them go to work here on their third series, trailing 14-zip.
Another great kick. The ball was kicked down to the 5-yard line. That's a real weapon if you can get that long kick.
Abadaris in motion on first down. Cho Chong on the carry now. His first carry of the evening. Post was in there for the first couple of series. And now it's Cho Chong, the 5'6", 165 senior running back.
Mario Schiani was right there. Someone missed an assignment because he was unblocked and made the play.
No gain in the play. Second down and 10. Ryan Post back in there and gets the football. Tripped up in the backfield, but stays on his feet. Good piece of running by Post. Gets to 8 yards in the play. 3rd and 2 coming up.
Nice run. Picked up 8 yards, 9 yards. Paquette came back from his defensive end spot to make the stop.
Just past the 35, 3rd down and 2 play coming up.
Oh, great job.
Boy, great job.
By the defense.
Jong stopped and thrown for a loss again.
Justin Holtman, the inside linebacker, came up to make that stop. Excellent play. That's a loss of 1, makes it 4th and 2.
And punting unit not out there, so they lost yardage on the play. They need about long 2, maybe 3 to get the first down, and they're going for it. They sense some urgency here on homecoming that they need to move the chains here, even this early in the football game. 4th and 3. And now flags fly, delay a game. Now the punting unit will have to come out because they're going to march back 5 yards. You can't go for it on 4th and 8.
Well, that's a killer penalty. They, again, were, as you mentioned, they were going to go for it, try to get a little confidence of that offensive line. Now they've got to kick the ball.
So Robert Hill in to punt the football away.
Kick by Hill.
Fair catch called for, bobbled, but covered up over there by Chilson.
On their own 45.
And the Mariners again in pretty good shape. They're at the 45-yard line, their own 45, but
That punt was fielded by Chilson.
they'll try to move downfield for the third time and put points on the board for the third straight time, already leading at 14-0.
Well, they've had some terrific field position, averaging starting on the 50-yard line, and that puts a defensive team on their back on their heels, trying to defend that short field.
A $1:11 to go in the first quarter. Pitch into the backfield, and then like a Brahma bull, Will Frisch just goes right up the gut. Great blocking by that offensive line to spring Frisch for 9 yards. Look at the hole.
Second down and very short.
Well, that's a rather unique plunge. It's actually a toss back to the tailback,
Right.
and it's delayed enough so that the offense gets an opportunity to make that little trap block there, and it was a great hole.
Nearly got the first down. Second down and maybe a foot. Now timeout called by the Mariners. Doug Sarver wants to
Timeout.
chat it up with Corey Knapp.
Well, don't be too surprised if you see Corey Knapp dropping back to throw the ball on this second down and very short. It's a great opportunity. The Mariners are actually right now in 4-down territory with the lead that they have.
I want to mention, we've already talked about a lot of the St. Francis players who are here making the plays and leading this one 14-0. One of them who isn't here, one of their leaders on defense, Jordan Hernkar, a junior safety, broke his hand last week, and Doug Sarver was saying he's a real leader on defense, and they really miss him. One of those guys that everybody else rallies to and responds to, and a guy who makes plays. And he's on the sidelines tonight, but
when you have
offensive
a three-year starter, and he's out of the game, you know you're going to miss him.
We'll pitch back to Frisch one more time, and plenty to get the first down into Cudahy territory at the 43.
Tackle by number 72, Reyes. Falls on the 43-yard line of Cudahy.
Well, they've been impressive, Stan.
Yes, they've been very impressive moving the football. A great mix of run and pass, and again, Cudahy is on their heels defensively.
Schiani in the backfield along with Frisch. Frisch gets the call. 3 straight calls for number 32. Got 5 yards on that carry, and that brings to a close the first quarter here in Cudahy. 12 minutes in the books, and it's been all Mariners sailing out to a 14-zip lead. You're watching the Time Warner Sports Prep Football Game of the Week from Cudahy. Bob Brainerd along with Stan Grove. And our guys and gals in the trucks, and of course, clothing optional on homecoming.
Well, just one of the shenanigans that go along with high school homecoming.
The kids and the shenanigans, you know. Gotta have some fun. It's a tradition here, actually. Did it last year at their homecoming contest, I understand. It's a unique tradition. On the carry, Frisch again. Tries the left side this time. He did 6, got about half of it. 3rd down and 3 coming up.
Little power sweep from out of the strong set. Running to the short side of the field. Cudahy is stacked a little bit to the wide side, and Cudahy ran to the short side. Short gain, but nevertheless a manageable 3rd down.
We saw Knapp up and over the huddle. 6'4", 175 junior. 3rd and 3, play action again. Knapp sets, fires. And catch, nope, nothing doing. Intended for Joey Edwards. Edwards had to leave his feet and go down and skid and try and get that ball to skip up into his hands, but it skipped on the ground first. 4th down coming up.
Well, it was a well-designed play, and he was wide open again. Just missed him a little bit.
So 4th down and about 2. Mariners won't get fancy with it, and they'll just boot it away.
What a great spot for a fake punt.
Yeah, watch out. Sam Rush on to do the punting. Hernkar was the punter, but Rush has that job now with Hernkar out with a broken hand. Gets a pretty good punt away, angling for that corner, and he nails it.
Ball's out in about the 6.
Yeah. So Rush able to put the proper spin on that football and see where it's placed down. Cudahy in a deep hole to start 1st and 10. Nice bounce.
Coach Arbor not gambling on 4th down in that particular situation, but he's got the Cudahy Packers back in deep field position.
1st and 10 at the 6. Post bouncing. No running room. Ran into a brick wall 3 times.
31 and 50, Miller and shoots on the stop, no gain. Profanity, racial, sexist, or ethnic comments.
So the Packers searching for answers on offense. They have shown glimpses. Penalties have hurt them. A couple drop passes along the way. And then trying to go for it on 4th down, but taking too much time to run the play. The delay of game pushed them back 5, and then they had the punt. 2nd and 10 coming up. Chong in the carry.
John, the ball carrier.
Not much there. Going to bring up 3rd down and long.
Miller on the stop. Brings up 3rd and 8.
Mario Ciani has been a real force on the Mariners defense. He's been all over the field from his defensive end position. St. Francis runs a variation of the 35 defense, moving that outside linebacker in and out.
3rd down and 8. He catch the fake. Got to get out of the end zone. He does, but just barely to avoid the safety. But the sack made at about the 2-yard line by Sam Rush.
Well, again, it was
Ball's at about the 1-yard line. 4th down.
Coming from all directions, aren't they?
Yeah, that was Ciani again that was in there putting the pressure on. He didn't make the stop, but he surely made the play.
Robert Hill with the back of his heels at the end of the end zone, right on that end line. Deep to receive. Chilson and Bostad again. They're standing at the 35. And they'll let it go. They don't want to monkey around with this one.
Yeah, it was a very, very good bounce for the Packers.
Yeah. Still, it winds up in Cudahy territory.
47-yard line.
This is the last tackle. Watch Seacatch get out of the way to get out of the end zone. And he just got the ball in his feet back to the 1-yard line. Otherwise, that's 2 points.
Rush made the actual stop, but again, it was Ciani that was making the terrific job of rushing the passer there.
In Packer territory, 1st and 10 at the 47. Pitch back to Frisch again. This time he stacked up.
That's the first real good defensive surge that the Packers have had, and that was a great job by number 72 in there for the Packers. Andres Reyes.
No gain in the play, maybe even a few inches shy of the original line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10 now for the Mariners. Knapp. In and out of the hands right there of Ryan Copleen.
Well, the pass was just a little bit high. It was right on target, but just a little out of the reach.
Interesting. It looks like Knapp like he almost didn't have the handle, but I think that was on purpose. He just kind of took a couple baby steps backwards, like he might look for a little seam to do a quarterback draw or something, and trying to catch that defense napping. Then he just stands upright with that big 6'4" frame and fires.
Well, he had a little quick slant out there to Kaplan, and we're going to see that one again because they're playing single coverage out on the wide receivers.
3rd down and 10 for the Mariners. Knapp with the check off at the line. And here we go again. One-on-one battle. And you were right, Stan. You saw it coming. Intended for 88 again, Kaplan, the big 6'4" receiver, the senior. Tried to win the one-on-one battle here, but this time Knapp can't connect.
He had both of the defenders on the, not only on the bottom side of the screen here, but on the top side of the screen. They were both playing inside to take that slant pass away. And he audibled into the fade and just missed it.
Rush to do the punting once again. Tries the other side of the football field this time. Abadaris picks it up at the 5. Running room along the sidelines. Good return by Abadaris.
That was a very good return. They were down on the 6-yard line and got it back to real good, manageable field position at about the 22.
Some might say you let this one go into the end zone when it gets to the 5. But Abadaris, as you see, picks it up right there. And on the fake, he was able to freeze St. Francis over to the right and then head down the left sidelines and got it out to the 27-yard line, making it the 23. 1st and 10 for the Pack. Trailing at 14-0. Zhang. 1st down, into the secondary, out to the 46.
That was the first really big gain, nice gain. Gain of about 22 yards.
Show Zhang.
23 yards.
Fleet feet.
Well, Coach Madden said he was one of the guys that we had to look for because he's one of their playmakers.
And if you open up a hole, you can see the speed. 1st and 10 at the 45. This is post. Nothing doing. Stacked up. 3 Mariners there, including 34, Thomas Farah. No gain in the play. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Right now, the Mariners are winning that battle at the line of scrimmage. And I think we're going to have to see a little misdirection here by the Packers to really sustain their offense. 2nd 10.
Zhang the lone back. He gets the call, but the whistles stop the play dead. And illegal procedure call on the Packers, who had a little bit ahead of steam going downfield and inching closer to midfield and Mariners territory. Now they're back at the 40-yard line. 2nd and 15 coming up.
That's the 3rd penalty against the Packers, and they've come at inopportune times. It almost dictates a throw with 2nd and 15.
Catch fires over the middle, complete. Out near midfield, complete to Jacob Wall, the big tight end. Reels that in.
That was a nice toss, just a little hitch up to the tight end. Picking up portions of the 1st down territory.
Yeah, they needed portions there instead of trying to get all of it back in one play. Now, more manageable, 3rd down and 7 at the 49. Catch rolls. Complete to Wall again. Plenty for the 1st down. Into Mariners territory, so that combination, they go to it on back-to-back plays and they move the chains.
Well, Wall is a big target. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. And not only is he a big target, but he's tough to bring down once he gets a head of steam downfield.
You see the numbers on Seacats coming in. Didn't play in the first 2 games of the season for Cudahy. Post. And he, like Zhang, trying that left side and finding some open real estate to work with. Big pickup on first down. Got about 7. 2nd and 3 coming up.
And the Post has got a nice little burst of speed in there as well.
And the rotation in the backfield continues. Zhang back there now. And he gets the carry. And again, that left side. Running room. Down to the 20. Flags fly at the end of the play. That might be holding, and it might bring this one all the way back, Stan Grove.
Well, I didn't see any Mariners or any Packers in the vicinity, but it is a hold. Oh, yep. He's got right a hold of his jersey.
Yeah, Abadaris,
yep,
running out there, number 8, you could see, trying to do the right thing and trying to block, and springs Zhang for some extra yardage there, but instead the yardage goes in the favor of St. Francis. Penalties costly for the Packers.
Well, he'll get yardage up to the point of the flag,
right,
but then the penalty yardage will take him back 10. So it's a nice rushing gain, but at the same time.
So they get the first down. It could have been much more.
Absolutely.
But they still move the chains, get a fresh set of downs here at the 29 in the shotgun. Seacatch. Zhang in front blocking. I'm not sure if that was a busted play or if it was meant to be Zhang blocking for Seacatch up front. Regardless, Nate Studler
made a nice play on him. I think that was a fake fall and a follow. The handoff fake area, however, wasn't very tidy, and the running back bumped into the quarterback.
And that was just enough time for 54 to make his presence felt. Loss of 2 in the play, 2nd down and 12. He catch, play action, pumps downfield into the end zone. Touchdown.
Oh, great throw, great catch.
Nicholas Abadaris.
Well, Abadaris has had his problems early in the game, but that was a terrific catch. And a great throw also by Scott Seacatch.
He rolled out, set up, and knocked it right into the breadbasket. And just like that, Abadaris erases that penalty on the hold and redeems himself, hauling in the touchdown. Peter Basso on to try it. The extra point. I can cut this one to 7. And the kick is good. 4:24 to go in the second quarter before all the halftime festivities. And on this play, the Cudahy Packers slice that lead in half. Nothing better than redemption, Stan, isn't it?
Well, this is a big shot in the arm for the Cudahy Packers. They were reeling a little bit. Now they've taken a 78-yard drive and put 7 points on the board, and I think hopefully that's going to spur their defense to some better effort as well.
Boy,
we've got a ball game on our hands now.
See what was going on there? Stan Aberdarius came over to the sidelines, and one of the coaches came over there and just had a little X's and O's session on blocking with them and showed them how to lock up and put those arms up so you don't get called for holding.
Hostile to kick off. Frisch and Justin Ferry back for the kickoff.
So new life for the Packers. Short kick, fielded by one of the Upmen. That's Rush. And Rush does a good job of just taking that football and cradling it and running into the pile. It'll be 1st and 10 Mariners at the 33. Their lead now 7, 14-7. Yeah, sometimes, Stan, it's all about perception and the look. You don't want to give the official a good view so that they can throw that flag. Here's that back pitch again to Frisch.
Frisch is back there 8 yards, and he gets a pretty good head start once that ball is tossed to him. And you have to have a stout line in order to not have that momentum cave you in.
I asked Doug Sarver if these young guys in the offensive line, if they know all about the tradition and what's expected of them with St. Francis football, as Farah gets the carry and gets the first down on the play. And he said they understand the reputation. They know what it's been like having those big bodies up there over the years. But then again, these guys are so far removed from the so-called heydays of St. Francis football that they really don't know. All they know is what they're told.
Well, they're not exactly small up front. They're 210, 210, 220, 35, 235, and 220. That's pretty good size. There's that power burst again.
Yep, and there's Will Frisch again. St. Francis state runners-up in 2004. That was their lone trip to state. This team lost in the Division IV playoffs first round last year to Broadhead Judah 29-23.
Well, that was Reyes making another stop. He's made several tackles tonight.
Pickup of 2 on the play. Second down and 8. Pitch back. Farah. And he goes around the end and he gets a first down. Or awfully close to it. It is a first down. Move the chains into Cudahy territory. Go the Mariners again.
Well, it looks like they might. No, he's definitely got the first down.
So who do you key on if you're playing defense for Cudahy? Really a tough call. Kind of a flip of the coin. Because you've seen what Farah can do. And you can see what Frisch can do. Frisch again. Gets that head of steam, as Stan pointed out, standing about 8 yards back, and then when he takes that pitch, just give him a little hole, and he'll do the rest.
Well, you're seeing a good dose of power football right now. The Mariners have only about 2 minutes to go in the half, so it's doubtful they can march it all the way down what they're doing, but at the same time, some play action is in order.
Back pitch again, this time Farah goes into the line, takes it out to about the 41-yard line. Clock continues to roll here. Third down play coming up for the Mariners, who may be satisfied to just move the chains here and take the 7-point lead to the locker room, but we'll see. Stan's thinking play action here, so.
Well, look for, I'm surprised to see Ciani come out of the game. He's been very successful on that little flare out to the flat. But they're breaking formation right now, going into the shotgun.
Yep, third down and 6 play for the Mariners, and one of the linemen moved.
Penalty marker.
Might have been Joey Edwards, the tight end. Buckled early. And that'll make 3rd and 6. Instead, turn into 3rd and 11.
5-yard penalty. Moves it back.
And the clock continues to run. That may change the strategy here for the Mariners. Certainly will try to pick up the first down, but they may be content to just play the field position game and let the clock run out. And now the clock's going to stop as procedure call on St. Francis will march it back 5 more.
Well, after having no penalties through the first 20 minutes of the half, now they've had 2 consecutive ones.
3rd and long.
And the clock rolls again. Up under center, and now the give to Farah.
Coach Sarver is going to be satisfied going into halftime with that 7-point lead without having to punt, provided Cudahy doesn't take a timeout.
And it looks like the clock will just roll down to halftime. Stick around. We'll have some of the pomp and circumstance of homecoming. Oh, stand corrected. 7 seconds and change to go, so they're going to make the Mariners punt. But coming up at halftime, we'll have some of the homecoming festivities here in Cudahy. Let you look in and listen into all of that. Plus, we've got a feature on one of the unbeaten teams coming into action today in the City Conference. That would be the Bradley Tech Trojans. Dennis Krause will give us an inside look at what makes the Trojans tick.
That was a nice timeout called by Coach Madden. I expect that he will probably send everyone here trying to block the kick. And if they don't block it, well, they just let the clock run out themselves.
Yeah, just stay away.
Right.
Don't want to cough up the football. So Rush will boot this one away. Cudahy going to bring everybody, it looks like, because even Abadaris is playing up. There's nobody back for the Packers, so they're just going to bring the house. And Rush gets it away. And unless something really crazy happens, that will be the end of the first half, and it is.
Well, it was an entertaining first half. We saw about a quarter where it was all the Mariners, but in the second quarter, the Cudahy Packers had a nice drive of 78 yards. Now, they've got ourselves the ball game.
They cut the lead in half on homecoming. Your score at the half, St. Francis 14, Cudahy 7. We're coming back with our halftime activities from Cudahy in just a moment. But over in the City Conference this afternoon, the Bradley Tech Trojans ran their record to 6-0 after a big 35-7 win against Milwaukee Riverside. They are primed to be the class of the City Conference, the Trojans are. But as Dennis Krause tells you, they're not only a success on the football field, they do a pretty good job off of it as well.
1, 2, 3, right! The Trojans of Bradley Tech are off to a great start on the field this year as they look to be one of the top teams in the City Conference. They don't want to stop there, though. Last year, Milwaukee Riverside proved that a team from the city does not have to take a back seat to anybody with their run to the Division I semifinals.
We knew coming into this year we would have sort of like the same kind of team Riverside did last year, you know, kind of senior heavy, and we had a lot of experience. So we knew it would be pretty good, and that inspired us that a city team can do well in the playoffs.
Yeah, growing up in the city, you just had that mentality that our city football, they don't get any respect around the state. It's good to see that a city team did get that far with the coaches and the right play.
Baby, not a basketball. And I am due actually November 11th, which is a Packers Sunday. I think it's against the Vikings. It's a home game, just to let you.
Homecoming always a big deal here at Cudahy, and rightfully so. Take a look at the first half recap, Stan Grove. Mariners had the football their first 2 times on offense, and 2 times they produced.
Well, they took advantage of the fact that Cudahy was really playing the run hard and playing it tough. They managed to sneak the setback out of the backfield. Here he comes around the outside, wide open. Ciani one time, Bartelt, Baskelt the second time, and 2 TD passes for Cody Nash.
And then Cudahy in the second quarter finally responded on a nice play here by Seacatch. Roll out, got plenty of time, and Abadarius right there to reel it in, making it 14-7.
He was actually very well covered, but it was a perfect throw and catch, and then great touchdown for those Cudahy Packers. Puts them right back in the game.
Yep. Well, there's your scoring summary. The 3 touchdowns from the first half. As the photo op continues here during the homecoming activities. And before the game, we had a little history lesson. The first man to ever score a touchdown on this football field for the Cudahy Packers, Joe Horbinski and his family. There's Joe with the coin toss. He got the first TD on this field when he was a Packer back in the day, and back in the day was on October 2nd, 1938. Way to go, Joe. Good flip and a little history lesson. And now, my favorite part of homecoming here in Cudahy, some fire. They're doing it on the infield dirt over there behind the goalpost, which I think is a good idea, Stan. Just in case it gets out of hand. You got some dirt there to douse the flames, but I think everything's under control here. And the ladies are all intact as well. So
those ladies are dressed very, very nicely, and I'm sure that that homecoming dance is going to be something very special for them. The burning of the sea.
Now I remember. State championship back in 1994 for Cudahy. Terry Benet now an assistant coach over at New Berlin Eisenhower.
During the fall, he's a native Floridian in the wintertime.
Smart man, that Terry Benet. Looks like a little onside kick, but it's just a short kick, and Edwards fields it and then runs past the kick coverage into Cudahy territory at the 35.
Wow, what a great effort by Edwards. They're actually taking over 5 yards behind where the kickoff occurred.
Tackle by Liegler.
So Edwards, big 6-foot tight end, sure-handed that football, and then instead of just rolling over and playing dead, he decided to find a seam. And he did, and great field position once again for the Mariners, 1st and 10 at the 36. Pitch back, running room, up the gut. Frisch. All the way down inside the 20-yard line. Boy, I keep saying ahead of steam, and that's exactly what Frisch does.
What a great job up front by Joe Greco and Eric Schofield. They had a little cross block going on there and made a big hole. Frisch did not take long to get through it either.
I think I said the 20-yard line, down to the 15 actually. Frisch kept squirming his way for extra yardage and knocking on the door once again to produce here to begin the second half. Frisch trying to cut the corner, not as much running room that time, got maybe a yard or two.
Well, again, a good defensive play by Falkowski, excuse me. Ian Culver in also on the stop.
got maybe a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9 coming up. Frisch tries the right side. Grinds his way for 3 yards. 3rd down play coming up for the Mariners. They'll spot it at the 11-yard line.
Well, the Packer defense has been much maligned early in the game, but they're certainly been stout in those last 2 running plays.
Third down, about 7. Knapp to the corner. Broken up.
That pass is broken up nicely.
Intended over there for Bosted.
Macias
Justin Macias
brings up a 4th
breaks
down.
it up, stride for stride, made the defensive stop, 4th down.
Well, that was a well-timed throw, but Justin Macias was right there to make the play.
Apparent field goal attempt.
This is a good stop for the Cudahy defense.
So
From the 20-yard line.
Corey Knapp will set this one down for Chris Hemmer, the soccer player. 30-yarder on the way.
Kick is up.
And he pushed it.
Wide right.
So no good. So Hemmer,
Cudahy takes over on the 20-yard line.
who had the distance on that one, pushed it to the right. You can see the frustration there because that drive stalled without producing any points, so it remains 14-7.
Well, that's a big momentum builder for the Cudahy Packers. They were in danger of going down by 2 scores there. Defense held.
They bring it out to the 20, 1st and 10 for the Packers. Chung in the carry. About a yard or 2.
Not much.
Mike Paquette and Adam Schultz in on the play.
Young and Ryan Post doing most of the work, platooning in and out of that backfield for the Packers. But that defensive front and those linebackers, the most consistent part of this St. Francis team so far this season, according to Doug Sarver. 2nd down and 9 coming up for Seacats. Pumps again, fires downfield, complete. Nicholas Aberderis again. Aberderis had some problems getting that football to stay in the palm of his hands in the 1st quarter, but he's been sure-handed here ever since then, Stan Grove.
Well, again, it was a terrific throw, and the defense was not that bad at all. It's just Aberderis is a little taller and jumped up and made a great catch right in the hands.
And Aberderis, 6-foot senior. Jung cuts a corner, shakes loose, and then whipped down by Justin Hiltunen. But not until another 1st down for Jung and the Packers.
It's amazing what a good defensive stop will do for an offense. Here we've had 3 terrific plays by the offense that had been struggling most of the half. Nice run by Jung. He did a great job.
There you see Mike Seefelt, one of the big senior linemen up there. He was one of the big guys that sprang Jong on that play. He's going to Northern Illinois to play for the Huskies. And Michael Seefeld, a good one. 6'3", 265 senior. You saw him up close and personal. One of the big bodies up front there. No gain in that play. 2nd down and 10. Seacats going to the air. To the corner, complete. Caught and then banged over there. Matthew Lapata. Rush makes the tackle, but getting close to that 1st down are the Cudahy Packers.
Now another great fake and throw by Seacats. Lapata making A few extra yards after the catch.
So they did get the first down at the 15. Post tries the left side. Heading to the pylon. Turns the corner. Fumbles, but not until he's out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Good piece of running there by Ryan Post. First and goal coming up now for the Packers, who are threatening to tie this football game.
Well, that was a great pull and lead trap block by Watkinson, excuse me, the right guard, 6'1", 225-pound senior, came around the left end and trapped the defensive end out.
First and goal at the 1. Zhang can't break free. In fact, he'll lose yards on the play. Great tackle by Mario Schiani.
Well,
Schiani's
been a mainstay in that defense all night long. That was Watkinson again trying to block him, but this time Schiani shut the block by Watkinson and made the play. Make the play. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Loss of 2 on the play. Second and goal. Post. Stutter steps. And gets into the end zone for a touchdown. That stutter step may have helped the cause because Post just waited for the blocking to set up in front of him. And then it was easy pickings after that for 32, and we're a PAT away from tying this football game up. Right there. And there's Seefeld again. And that's exactly what he did, Stan Grove, was waiting for 74 to clear a path. And when he did, he found that little seam and jumped into the end zone. Now,
some help from Watkinson on the way in. It's a big extra point. And it's good.
Packers get it, and we're tied on homecoming at 14 with 7:06 to go in the third quarter.
Well, we're starting all over again with the momentum on the side of the Packers. I think they want a better kickoff this time than the last time, however.
Yeah. So we spotlighted the young man, the senior, who will be playing for Northern Illinois next season. And you could see him front and center that time, providing the block, bringing enough leeway and real estate for Post to dance into the end zone and tie this football game up at 14. There's Mike Seefeld.
Well, he's 6'3", 265. Probably 17 years old. Unlimited potential.
Yeah, more growing to do.
Yes, he will.
So Peter Basso will tee it up for the Packers. I can tell you who's deep to receive for the Mariners, but they really haven't touched the football yet tonight. Everything's been short and in the middle of the football field. See where this one goes. This one a deep kick, fielded at the 15, and then wrapped up. Justin Ferry took that kick. Probably more surprised than anything. Watkinson provides the leveling blow here.
Stop for Cudahy. Ball is being spotted on the
Boom.
25-yard line.
Well, it probably wasn't one of Ferry's best runs on a kickoff. On that kickoff, you cannot be hesitant. You really got to put it up in there.
So the Mariners, who scored on their first 2 offensive series this evening, suddenly find themselves tied up in this Woodland Conference battle. Will Frisch on the carry that time. Got about 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up. And Stan, they looked unstoppable in those first 2 series. Mixing it up with the run and the pass. Doing it with ease. Getting a pair of touchdowns right out of the chute. But
Cudahy's defense has stiffened for sure.
Yeah.
They've done a real nice job of holding. They haven't stopped them, but they've held them to short gains.
2nd and 5 play.
There's another example right there.
Sticking with the bread and butter. Frisch again, spinning and churning for extra yardage. 3rd and 3 coming up.
Well, these are crucial 3rd down plays for Coach Sarver. He doesn't want to put the ball up if he can help it, but at the same time, he's made 6 yards on 2 plays. He may have to.
Third down and a long 4 as we have a
little equipment problem here.
Wardrobe malfunction, I think they call it now.
Well, that's Jared Ludzinski. He's a big cog in that St. Francis offense. He needs to have a new buckle on his chin strap, it looks like.
Third down, long 4. Knapp, little check off at the line. Going to drop back and fire the sidelines. Too much. Intended over there for Bostad, and a flag flies at the end of the play.
Yeah, we've got a push off on number 8. Maybe it was 41, but it was too bad because the ball was not going to be caught.
Boy, that's
a tough call, is right. Yep. That is a tough call.
That's a tough call because Bostad, you see it right there coming in your living room. But the Mariners will take it. And they'll march this one all the way down to the 46-yard line and move the chains on a critical third down play. Cudahy thought they had a punt coming up. Instead, they're back on defense, trying to slow down St. Francis. Knapp out of the shotgun. Fires to Edwards, and a flag in the backfield at the end of the completion. Probably a little holding on this play.
Roughing the passer.
Oh, boy.
Well,
adding insult to injury here.
Yeah, the Packers are victimizing themselves here, as we've seen in these last 2 crucial penalties. That was a very short gain.
But it'll turn into a productive game with the penalty tacked on top. Knapp just had the little dump off complete to Edwards, and then got knocked around at the end of the play.
Well, they had a little problem there. The people on the chains moved the chains a little prematurely. The official wasn't sure where the ball was to be marked, but it's very close to where it should be.
Very close? In the vicinity? Is that good enough?
In the vicinity is about correct.
You know, Jeff Arnold and his crew will sort it out and try and get it right. And they march it even more.
Okay, we're still marching. The ball is outplayed.
Cudahy got a bad feeling in their stomach. Nothing going right on these last 2 plays as far as they're concerned. And for St. Francis, a couple of breaks, pushes the ball all the way down to the 36-yard line. First down play coming up. And Frisch gets a couple yards on that carry.
Another great tackle by Falkowski. He's been real tough all night long. He's coming in from his defensive end spot. 6'3", 190-pound senior.
So this drive kept alive by a bit of a controversial penalty and then a self-inflicted one by the Cudahy Packers defense. Second down and 9 play coming from the 35. And all kinds of movement. Knapp never got the snap, and half the bodies were ready to go on a different count than what the QB had in mind. So 5 yards to go back the Mariners' way.
Now, there's some discussion here with the Cudahy Packers. Just a guess is that the official is warning Cudahy about calling some signals at the same time when the quarterback is calling his signals.
forthwith. Penalty against.
They marked off the 5 yards on the motion penalty, so it's back to the 40. I think you're right, Stan. I think, you can't do that. You can't verbally try to confuse the other team from jumping off sides.
Officials will usually give the defensive team a warning first before they'll do anything with it.
Knapp complete to Edwards. Gets it back to the 32-yard line.
Oh, boy, another flag.
Another flag.
Now we've got a hold.
Now the yellow hankies are starting to fly fast and furious here in the third quarter. And again, St. Francis marching backwards after they started to get it going on offense. They start to sputter now.
That was a great throw by Knapp. Threw a bullet down to his receiver.
There's your hold.
Obviously, the hold was done before the pass was thrown. Normally, that type of holding penalty comes from the line of scrimmage unless it's on a running play.
Yeah. Spot of the foul. So therefore, you see the damage. 41-yard line of St. Francis. Little flip out here to Farah.
No, they had a nice screen set up. One minor detail where the blockers forgot to block. But they had a great screen set up.
And that point did not go unnoticed by the St. Francis sidelines. They were hopping and waiting for the block to pop and get Farah some more real estate. Out to midfield. But the first down, a long way.
Third down and a long, long way. Okay.
They need to get down to the 26-yard line, do the Mariners, if they want to move the chains.
This is the proverbial 3rd and 24. Packers know all about that.
Knapp. Complete.
Oh, it's a great catch.
Wow.
Well defended, and it is a first down.
Ryan Copleen, that 6'4" target once again, just outran the coverage there, one-on-one coverage.
He was right there.
What a throw by Knapp. Look at this.
For St. Francis on the...
And again,
you can't fault the coverage by
Alex Wojtek.
He was right there, but it was just a terrific throw and catch by the St. Francis duo.
So it was 3rd and long, and now it's 1st and 10 at the 23. And half that Packer defense right there to greet Frisch.
That's going to be a loss of 2 on that part.
Or rather, Farah, I beg your pardon.
Farah, the ball carrier.
There's
Salkowski and Aberderis on the tackle. Loss of a yard or so. 2nd down.
And so Farah lost 2 on the carry. 2nd and 12 coming up. And 3rd down play rescued the Mariners when they were heading in the wrong direction. Over the middle. Tipped a couple times. One of the Packers got a hand on it. Aberderis, actually.
That was Aberderis again. Yep. Knocked the ball down.
From the Packer 25-yard line.
Packers are coming in an all-out blitz that time. Had a little pressure on Knapp. Did have a receiver going down the right sideline, but the pressure was not going to allow him to look for that second receiver.
And sometimes that tip goes right into the hands of either your teammate or the other guys. Copleen was waiting for it, but not able to reel it in. 3rd down and 12 play coming up. Knapp out of the shotgun now. Into the end zone. Too much.
He had a man open there, but he just threw it a little bit too far into the end zone. He was running a post pattern there and eventually got through the post to the flag. Not quite enough time to finish the route.
Intended for Tyler Bostad, so 4th down is here. They need a dozen for the first. Ball to 25-yard line, so one of those those tweener areas of the field.
This is kind of no man's land. You can't punt, you can't kick a field goal. Got to go for it.
Heck, they got the last time. This is only 12 yards. 4th down. Knapp going to try the sideline. Did he catch it and hang on? He didn't. Bostad had it, and then the big pop over there jarred the ball. Foytek made the play.
Terrific hit. And that was a saving tackle for sure, because that was a first down.
Alex Foytek, the senior, bam. Hello to Tyler Bostad.
Tyler needs to come out of the game here. He's roughed up a little bit on that play.
I should say. He had that football, and without the hit, probably reels it in for a first down. But Foytek really brought the hammer on that play. So it stays 14 apiece. 1st and 10 to 25 for Seacatch and company. Bad snap. Seacatch going to try to make something out of nothing by running with it. Barreling over St. Francis defenders. Got 5 yards. When all looked bad in the backfield on the bad snap, the QB came up with a nice play.
Bad snap from center.
Just kept running, and then look at that.
Well, number 11 comes up to Urbaniak, comes up to make the hit, but
the quarterback made the hit.
He certainly did on that play.
Pickup of 7. 2nd down and 3. Seacatch again in the shotgun. Better snap this time. Quick give, and it won't count. Illegal procedure once again. So 2nd and 3 will be 2nd and 8.
They had a nice play coming there, too. There was a good opening coming around the right side of the Cudahy offensive line. Unfortunately, movement before the play. Zong back in backfield.
And he gets the carry. Tries the right side, cuts back to the middle, close to a first down. Is Zhang. These little guys, Stan, they're slippery. They're hard to bring down.
They certainly are. 5'6", 165 pounds. Dynamite.
You always talk about the little mighty mites like that. They've got low shoulders. It's all the difference in the world when you get those big tacklers up there swinging and missing up high in the air. They got to get down low along the ground with those little scat backs if they want to bring them down. They give him the first down. Post on the carry. He goes right, then goes up the middle to the 30. Finally tackled at the 27-yard line. What a great piece of running by the senior Ryan Post. Went right, went up the gut. Big real estate picked up by the Packers.
Again, a nice block by Seafeld. Comes on a trap block, kicks the end out. That's number 74, and gives Post all that running room. It's a great play for the Packers. They've got a nice drive going again. Got the Mariners on their heels now.
And you can see what Northern Illinois likes in Seafeld.
Oh.
Stopped in the backfield, but stays on his feet. Oh, what a great piece of running there by Zhang. Well, Zhang and Post just getting it done and not to be denied by anyone in a St. Francis jersey.
Holtman came on a blitz right here and just missed the tackle. And then Zhang came in there with a excellent cut. Picked up the first down, or 8 yards.
Yeah, these two guys, they need breathers the way they've been running on this series. Post back in there, and he gets the carry. Again, tries the right side. Seafeld leading the charge. 74 is making it happen up front. He's just plowing bodies away, and Post just even put his arm out to help guide 74. Watch it here in the replay. Right there. Thank you very much. I'll do the rest.
Well, that big offensive line for Cudahy is starting to take charge of the line of scrimmage now. Kyle Garage, 220. Mike Seafeld, 265. Garcia, 230. Watkinson, 225. Manuel, 245. That's a lot of beef up front.
And when you've got a guy like Seafeld, Stan, with the size and the talent and the D1 scholarship in his back pocket, you try to run behind him. You try to get him involved in almost all of your running plays, and you can see why.
He's got great feet, too. He gets off the ball quickly. Does a good job of leading the play.
Zhang in the carry. Look out. Touchdown. Zhou Zhang in from the 6. And it's a happy homecoming at the moment because the Packers lead for the first time tonight, 20-14.
Great third quarter for the Packers. Zhou Zhang makes a nice cut. Takes it in from about 10 yards out for the touchdown.
Wow, what an impressive drive by Cudahy.
That was an impressive drive. All on the ground.
Basso, the boot. Knocks it through. Tack one more on. There you go. And late in the third quarter, it's Cudahy on top, 21-14.
Well, now it's the Mariners that have got to shift that momentum. We've seen them make some penetrations, but not put any points on the board this second half.
Zhang and Post, both with big bursts on that offensive drive. And they just rammed it down the throats of St. Francis to take the lead for the first time tonight. 28 seconds to go in the third quarter. Should be an interesting fourth quarter.
Well, that was a 75-yard drive on about 7 plays. 3 big runs.
Basso will tee it up.
Cudahy has an interesting lineup for their kickoff. They have the 2 bunches on either side to prevent anybody from counting off the men that they're supposed to block.
Line drive boot. Squibs through. Doesn't go into the end zone, so they have to bring it out.
Wow.
And we've been talking all night about the good field position going the way of St. Francis. This time, field position, bad.
It's amazing how a game can swing. Everything was going against the Packers in the first half. The second half, it's going all against the Mariners.
So Knapp and his offense, work cut out. Starting at their own 7-yard line and trailing now by 7. Straight ahead, sticking with the bread and butter. They bash it up the gut.
Picking up about 4 there behind Joe Greco and Eric Schofield.
Yeah, that's Evan Biller. And that should be the final play of the third quarter. And my, how things have changed. 14 points scored by the Packers, and they lead it 21-14 as we head to the fourth quarter.
Well, early in the game, they weren't being able to run the ball at all, but it looks like the offensive line for the Cudahy Packers is now taken over.
Well, and you know what, Stan? Our intern, Evelyn, she shows no fear, almost gets trampled on this big hit on the sideline. But Evelyn, she hangs right in there. Football players, yeah, big deal. We're coming back with the fourth quarter. Hang in there, Evelyn. She did. Over here. And now the Mariners playing from behind Stan Grove for the first time tonight.
That was a very well thrown ball. Again, the little swing out of the backfield to
25-yard line of Cudahy.
Tom Farah makes a nice catch, picks up the first down.
25.
And St. Francis, I would suspect, only down 7. And not about to change anything up in their game plan. They're going to stick with what got them here, and especially what got them on the scoreboard on their first 2 series. Pitch and carry that time by Farah. Got about 5 yards.
Well, that was the first time that St. Francis has been able to get outside this second half. Nice job by the other running back, Will Frisch, to seal the corner.
Got 9 yards on that play. Optimum chance here on 2nd and 1 for Knapp. They're going to settle with just trying to get the first down and the plow job up the gut. Evan Biller was the man in the pile, and he gets the first down. Had to wait till the bodies piled, and once they did, first and 10 at the 35.
It looks like Tyler Bystelt has recovered from that hit on the previous play. He's back in the ball game.
Knapp rolling over here to Cudahy, and just off his fingertips. 2nd down and 10 coming up on the incompletion.
That play has been very effective for St. Francis. That time just a little bit overthrown. That could have been a big play.
There you see number 3 in the civvies, if you will. That's Jordan Hernkar, and he's got the right hand all bandaged up. Broke it in their game last week, their win over Whitnall, and that a big loss for the Mariners. As we mentioned, one of the defensive leaders on that football team, and he's forced to watch this game and pace in sweats. Probably driving him nuts. 2nd down and 10. Knapp looks one way, goes the other way. Little swing pass over there. And not much running room after the play. It took a long time to set up, and once it did, the Packers were right there to pounce on Thomas Farah.
The Packers are sitting in that customary 44 defense, and that outside linebacker has responsibility for the flat. And he didn't get faked by the play action, was right there to make the play. I believe that was Alex Bodick again.
So situation dictated on that play, 3rd down and 9. Knapp in the shotgun, has to go to the air, reels it back in, and sacked for a loss. Derek Falkowski, first guy back there, number 2, to bring down number 10 and force 4th down.
And it's 4th down.
Packers are playing much better defensively this second half than they did the first, that's for sure. Putting pressure on the quarterback. Defenders are staying with their men.
Abradaris back to receive this punt. Almost over the head of Rush. Does a great job of reeling it in and getting it off. And then gets a favorable bounce as well. Could have been disaster. Instead, Cudahy gets it at the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 with a 7-point lead.
That was a very athletic play by the punter, and not only did he make a great catch, but got off a terrific kick after the play.
Now you see the time remaining, Stan Grove, 9:45 to go. Obviously you can't go into your shell here and play conservative football, but with a lead of 21-14, you can approach this a bit differently.
Well, they've been running the ball very effectively the whole half. I would expect that to continue.
And they do. Zhang. And again, going one way, then back up the middle. That seems to be the recipe for success for both Zhang and Post. You try one direction, then cut back to the middle where there's plenty of open space.
Well, this time it was Watkinson coming around, making the trap block. Zhang starts wide, cuts behind that trap, and then puts on a burst.
Into Mariner territory at the 49, 1st and 10.
Here comes Watkinson again.
Post
He's got running room. Can't drag him down.
On the 34-yard line.
Boy, what a 1-2 punch of Zhang and Post.
Well, both times, Watkinson, number 61, comes around, makes the block that springs this time Post. Nice bit of running by Post also.
So how do you defense this? Because it seems, Stan, that over and over again, they're just pulling somebody out in front of whoever is running the football. How do you stop it if you're St. Francis?
Well, your corners have really got to come down and close and take that lead blocker on, and right now that's not happening.
Zhang in the carry. This time, pouncing and making the tackle before he can get much more than 2 yards is Thomas Farah.
Tackle by Farah, lost on the play of about a yard.
Yeah, Holtman was right in there with him as well. Holtman's been doing a lot of blitzing in this game.
The winning ticket for the 50-50.
We might see a little more of that if they can't stop that sweep.
It's easy to say that everybody has an assignment and you zero in on the running back, but making the tackle with these slippery pair, that's another thing. See catch to the air, tipped around, no flags fly, intended over there for Jake Wall. But good coverage by the St. Francis secondary. They're all juniors in this St. Francis secondary, and they're all growing up fast.
St. Francis only has, I believe it's 11 seniors on the entire roster. One of them's a kicker. So they're a very young team. But at the same time, these juniors are playing well for them.
Chilson on the coverage that time broke up the pass. 3rd down and 11.
Well, the crowd here at the Packer Stadium is really getting into the game.
And they should. It's been a good one. Seacats will work out of the shotgun. And whistles. I don't think they got the play off in time. That'll make 3rd and 11, 3rd and 16.
Either that or the guy that was in motion, I think, might have gone up cut up field a little early. Yep.
You got it, Stan. Either way, it's a 5-yard walk-off.
You bet, yeah. And again, it's a long conversion. But the field position is in favor of the Packers.
At the 40 now, 3rd and 16 play coming up. Mariners need a stop, need to get their hands back on the football, and need to put a drive together to tie this one up. But the Packers going to try and thwart those ideas and keep the chains moving and the clock as well. 3rd and 16 play coming up for Seacatch, who's flushed out of the pocket, somehow stays alive, whips it out of bounds, actually intended over there, and knocked away by number 83, Damian Wetzel.
Well, that was a great athletic play by Seacatch. He was destined for about a 15-yard loss.
Yeah, he was, because 31, Evan Biller was right there. And I thought he was just getting rid of this football, but actually, he made a toss over there to John Fischinger that he might have been able to grab and tippy-toe if not for the good defensive play by the secondary. Here's the boot. And it'll bounce straight up, and Cudahy will be satisfied, downing at the 11-yard line. And with 7:44, that's where St. Francis has to begin their march.
Well, there's plenty of time in the game, there's no doubt about that. But at the same time, 89 yards stares them right in the face.
Gee, Stan, I think your flight just flew over. My goodness. Never get used to that.
941-604.
I sometimes think this football field is part of the runway at Mitchell Field. On the carry, Farah.
Farah on the carry.
Good piece of running there.
Yeah, Cudahy came with 2 backers that time, and it was within an eyelash of stopping that play.
604. Please attend right now the Pro Shop.
Number 9, Culver, was right there. Just couldn't quite make the play.
Ian Culver in the backfield quickly, slowed down Farah a bit, but not until Farah was able to pick up 4 yards and bring up 2nd down and 6. Clock continues to roll. St. Francis
will be deliberate here, but again, too much time taken away. This may be their last shot with the football. Schiani on the carry, not much there, maybe a yard or two. Third down coming up for the Mariners.
Well, they tried to catch Cudahy with a quick trap, and it just did not get that trap effectively accomplished. So big third down.
Yeah,
big third down.
Big 3rd and 5 coming up. And as we tick down to the 6:30 mark in the fourth quarter. Packers on top by 7.
Well, you might expect that little flare out of the backfield again. To see if Cudahy can run with that halfback. Uh-oh.
Won't get the play off.
Too much time.
So 3rd and 5 will turn to 3rd and 10. Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining.
Once you see that back judge start chopping his arm there, there's only 5 seconds left. He better get that play going.
So the uphill trek continues for the Mariners. 3rd and 10 now. Ball spotted at the 12. Knapp out of the gun. Down the sideline. Intercepted. Wojtek.
He's got a convoy.
He's got bodies in front, and he's still on his feet. Now he's going to try this side of the football field. Finally hauled down.
Big play for the Packers.
Wojtek right there made that big play in the last series on 4th down to break up the play. This time, the ball went right into his arms for the pick.
Mariner 15, 1st and 10, Cudahy.
Intended out there for Copeland. You saw the wobble on the football. Got a little too much air on it, and that allowed Wojtek to just camp underneath it and make the catch, and then he gets the free oxygen mask after all the running he did, trying to squirm away and get this one into the end zone. Now, Cudahy can put the hammer down and perhaps the final nail in the coffin if they can put it into the end zone. Post on the carry.
You know, that time Post was in a little bit too much of a hurry. His pulling guard was kind of lateral with him, and he didn't get a chance to cut it back.
Now, if you're Cudahy, you want to run the football, and you want to keep the clock moving. Here's another look at that pick.
3rd and 6.
You saw Copeland fall down, trying to skid back and change his direction in a hurry to field that football, and when he fell down, he didn't even have a chance to play defense as an offensive player. He got to make the tackle at the very end, but Wojtek with the INT. Zhang in the carry. Into the pile, got maybe a yard. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Both Zhang and Post have had success cutting the ball up. I think they're going to find now that if they just get on the hip of their pulling guard, that the place where they can make yardage is around the corner. That time Seafelt was out in front of everything.
3rd down and 6. Post in the backfield. See if Seacatch goes to the air. He wants to. He won't. On the blitz, there's your guy against Dan, Mario Schiani.
Yeah, there was definitely a blown assignment there. Sienna King comes in untouched. Great play. Seacatch really never had a chance on that one.
And now that brings up 4th down and about 16. And if you wanted to go for the 3, that got a little bit more challenging after the big sack. So they won't even bring the field goal unit out. They'll just try to go for it, and then hope, if they don't get it, hope their D can do the rest. 4th down, 16. Seacatch. Flushed out of the pocket, goes into the end zone, in and out of the hands of Aberdeus.
Well, there was a crucial stop by the Mariners. Still leaves them almost 4 minutes on the clock.
Well, and Aberdeus almost had this.
Oh, he did.
A little over-the-shoulder action.
Looks like he had that 1 foot down also.
Yeah. He reels it in. That's 6. Instead, the Mariners dodge a bullet and have 3:49 and all 3 timeouts remaining. This drive starting at the 21-yard line. Knapp, heavy pressure, brought down and sacked. And there he is on defense. Andres Reyes coming in hot and heavy.
Reyes on the sack.
Reyes has been a force in there all night. He's been playing that defensive left end for the Cudahy Packers, doing a great job.
And they're not giving Knapp any time to set up. And in the first half, Stan, he had lots of time back there.
Absolutely.
And now they're flying in and they're flustering that 6'4" QB.
Reyes is not very big. He's only 5'9", 170 pounds, but he's very quick.
Yeah, he needed a step ladder to get to Knapp, but he got to him. Quick crossing pattern over the middle, incomplete, intended for Copleen again. 3rd and 15 coming up for the Mariners.
Well, Knapp's passes are not quite as crisp as they were in the first half, but I think the Cudahy defense has got something to do with that.
Doug Sarver sends the play in with Knapp. 3rd and 15 and 3 minutes and change to go in the 4th quarter.
Knapp's still only a junior. He's a terrific quarterback right now, and he's going to be something special next year.
Knapp fires. Tried the old hook and ladder play, but they didn't get the hook to complete the ladder. Short to Chilson.
4th down.
Yeah, the ball short hopped him and didn't get a chance to get the second part of the play out. Even if he catches that ball, his knees are on the ground and it's going to be dead right there.
Yeah, that works with Tony Nathan and the Miami Dolphins back in the day in the Orange Bowl, but not here. 4th and 15. And Rush is just going to boot this one away, and with 3:03, Cudahy will do their darndest to just wind this game down and take the W. But again, 3 timeouts remaining for St. Francis, so they'll try to get this football back once again. Aberderis fields, turns upfield, and then goes back the other way. Bounced around, but still in Mariners territory at the 42-yard line. Make it the 41. And with 2:52 to play, we'll see how much time the Cudahy Packers can run off the clock. And we'll see if St. Francis indeed gets the football back, or if they watch it tick down to 0 and fall short by 7.
There's some good kick coverage there by Adam Schultz. Came down and put a solid hit on Aberderis.
Zhang in the backfield for the moment on 1st down. He gets the carry. And he stays on his feet and squirms and skitterbugs his way for about 3. St. Francis electing not to burn a timeout yet as the clock continues to roll. And Cudahy in no hurry here. 2nd down and 8.
Well, the Mariners are relying on their defense right now.
Ryan Post in the backfield. Gets the carry. Blocker in front. Post cuts the corner. Gets it out to the 35-yard line, and now St. Francis will burn their first timeout. They've got 2 left. 3rd down play coming up. Cudahy needs about 3.5, 4 yards to pick up the 1st down. So this is a big play for St. Francis if they want to get the football back.
That was a nice defensive play by Thomas Farrer. He actually chased that play down from behind all the way across the field. Wilkinson was leading the play, and or Watkinson, excuse me, and Farrer chased it down from the backside.
St. Francis 3-2 coming into this contest, 3-1 overall. And Cudahy 2-3. They're trying to get back to 500 on the season and go to 3-2 in conference play, but they need to take some more air out of this football and more ticks off the clock. 2:07 to go in the 4th quarter.
Well, it's been an impressive comeback. As the game started out, it was all St. Francis, but there have been 21 unanswered points by the Cudahy Packers.
So big play for both teams. Big for Cudahy if they want to keep the clock moving and move the chains. Bigger for St. Francis, who needs the football back, trailing by 7. 3rd down and 4. Post. Buried at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss on the play. In to make that tackle, Thomas Farah, and a quick timeout by St. Francis. They get 4th down, exactly what they wanted.
Well, that was a great job by Farah, again coming from his inside linebacker spot and making the play.
4th and 5.
So exactly 2 minutes to go. And this punt field position will be key for the Mariners, who have 1 timeout remaining. And depending on where the punt goes or how the kick return coverage sets up, they'll have under 2 with a timeout to go, and field goal will do them no good. They need 6 and then the PAT or the 2 if they want to gamble a bit, but first things first, they need to get it in the end zone.
Well, there's going to be a little pooch kick coming by the Packers here. They'll want the ball to be fielded, so you only need to kick the ball about 20 yards here.
So what Robert Hill will attempt to do, and he does. And so St. Francis, they'll just...
It's very close to hitting the defender.
Yeah. I'm taking a little
see
look.
What we got here.
The ball is dead on the Mariner 10-yard line.
Did it hit him?
Wow.
10 for St. Francis.
That was Will Frisch down there blocking.
I don't
Take another look.
It looks very close, but I don't think it hit him. Just misses him.
Boy.
Wow.
Missed him 3 times. The ball had eyes. Frisch didn't even know it. Missed the connection there. Did
Pass intended for Kaplan.
Kaplan and Knapp couldn't hook up that time?
Well, they had a twin set out there and ran the double slant. You can take your pick of receivers there depending upon coverage. Ball was just a little thrown a little bit behind the receiver.
Well, and again, the first 2 series, offensive series for St. Francis, they found plenty of open spaces down the middle. That area of the football field is shut off. The Packers got the message loud and clear, and they're not allowing anything over the middle to happen. Little razzle-dazzle here. And nothing doing. Bosted on the double reverse tried to unload it downfield, but well covered. Packers snuffed that one out, and they were ready for it.
Well, they only sent out 1 receiver, and there just wasn't anybody to throw the ball to there.
No, it really wasn't. So Bosted did the smart thing and just ate the football. Loss of 2 on the play. 3rd down and 12 as the clock continues to roll. Again, St. Francis just 1 timeout remaining, and of more importance, they need to get a first down here.
The Mariners are kind of grasping for straws right now. They're trying to make a play.
Now, incomplete, intended for Bosted once again. 4th down and 12 with 59 seconds to go. And this perhaps the last gasp for St. Francis.
4th down.
Well, you got to go for it if you're the Mariners. If you don't make it, you're hoping that there are some gracious hosts here tonight, because they could put another one in very quickly.
I think a lot of these guys probably run into each other in other sports and during the summertime. Heck, right in the same neighborhoods, perhaps.
Absolutely.
Cudahy's going to call a timeout. They want to make sure here on 4th down. So they have 2 remaining. St. Francis has 1 remaining, but they need the first down before they can even think about burning that final timeout. And they've got a long way to go to get into the end zone.
Yep. Well, If they don't make the first down on this play, then it's kneel down time and the game's over.
Steve Madden, the head coach of the Packers.
The next 59 seconds, the social at Knights of Columbus.
They'll make sure everything's squared away.
That's the alumni social.
And it's been you always hear this, a tale of two halves, but it really was. And it was the momentum of the Packers finally putting together a successful drive and putting it into the end zone in the second quarter to make this a 14-7 ball game. That really got their offense on track.
That 78-yard drive just seemed to turn everything around, and even played better defense after that. Mariners haven't really been knocking at the door all second half.
So here we go. 4th and 12. Knapp fires. Complete. First down. They got it. Bostad again.
Caught by Bostad. That looks like a Mariner. It is.
He got to the stick and then squirmed his way for another few yards. Got the first down, so the Mariners still alive. And will they call their final timeout? They will.
Timeout taken by St. Francis.
Now, this is a stage of the game when you got to have your 2-minute offense ready to go. You can't have your quarterback running over to your coach, and I'm sure that's why Coach Sarver called the timeout. He's going to have 2 or 3 plays going in a row here to make sure that they get an opportunity to get that last possible score.
So no timeouts remaining for St. Francis. They'll have to do it the hard way. And the Packers will play everybody deep. They'll give up the short stuff.
Yep.
But not the long one. Don't let anybody get behind you. That's the theme now in that defensive huddle.
Well, that's the ideal philosophy of playing pass defense in a save-the-game situation is to get as much pressure as you can on the quarterback and keep everything in front of you. And I think we'll see that right now by the Packers. They'll be playing a little deeper. Linebackers are deeper.
Knapp going to go deeper. Complete. Bostad. Smart play.
Nice job.
Took it and knew exactly where he wanted to go. That was out of bounds to get the first down and stop the clock. And perhaps St. Francis trying to set up that Packer defense here by nitpicking the sidelines a bit. And then if they start sneaking around the corners, that's when you can take your shot over the middle. But again, everybody's deeper. Knapp, they won't get the playoff. Flags fly once again.
Illegal procedure against the Mariners, 5-yard penalty.
The wide receiver there didn't think he was up on the line of scrimmage, and just before the snap, he stepped up a step, cost him 5 yards.
All penalties magnified this late in the contest in a 7-point game. 1st and 15 now, 29. Knapp again in the shotgun. Over the middle. Nearly intercepted on the tip drill. Nicholas Aberderis had it in and out of his hands.
Well, that was a play that they scored a touchdown on earlier in the ball game.
Yep.
Packers have been kind of sitting in there waiting on that one right now.
Yeah, Thomas Farah, you could see he got a paw on it and then turned to see if anybody was coming over the middle to level the hit. So it's incomplete. 2nd and 15, 37 seconds to play. Knapp rolls one way, fires the other way, complete to Farah. Blockers in front. Farah gets out to about the 42-yard line, but the clock continues to roll. And remember, no timeouts remaining for St. Francis. Knapp spikes it.
Incomplete pass.
That'll bring up 4th down.
Well,
Yeah, that burned it down. It stopped the clock, but it burned it down. Now they need 3 to get the first down.
They got to make this play. That's for certain.
If Farah gets the first down on that play, then the clock would stop, and it would allow that offense to set up. But because he didn't, and he was in bounds, they had to hustle up to the line, burn it down. 4th and 3 from the 41. Flags fly. What do we got? Too many men on the field? Illegal participation. And that'll march off 5 yards. And now 4th down.
Too many men on the field for St. Francis.
This got even tougher for the St. Francis Mariners. So Knapp gets the play with 16 seconds to go. 4th and 8 coming up. They need to get to their own 44-yard line for a first down. And they won't get it. Big blitz, big body came running in and grabbed Knapp. That belongs to number 85, Mark Edmard. The sophomore charged in to put this one away for the Packers.
There was a big pressure that was coming right from the inside, and Knapp never had a chance to deliver the ball.
Boy, this defense, after getting scored upon on the first 2 drives of the night, really stepped up.
Absolutely.
And they didn't allow a single point the rest of the way. And they're going to win on homecoming. Catch takes the knee, and that will be the final score. From Cudahy, the Pack is back in the win column. Final score, Cudahy 21, St. Francis 14. We're coming back to the Mitchell Airport landing strip when we return.
There's always something new and exciting on Wisconsin On Demand.
Time falls to 3-3 and 3-2 in conference play. So these 2 squads now with identical records in the Woodland Conference. Let's send it down to Stan Grove. He's standing by with the very happy head coach of the Packers. Stan?
This is Stan Grove at Cudahy Packers Stadium with Coach Steve Madden, victorious Coach Steve Madden, with an exciting win over the Mariners. Gee, you got to be awful proud of your kids. They came back 21 unanswered points.
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of our kids. You know, we were down early. They showed a lot of character. They hung in there, and I thought we really came alive in the second half. I give St. Francis credit. Their kids are well coached. Doug Sarver was actually my youth football coach, so I know him and his staff are going to have his kids ready, but I'm extremely proud of my kids and the way they battled back.
Well, your defense was on the heels in the first quarter, and it seemed like after you got that 78-yard drive and put some points on the board that the defense picked up also.
Yeah, you know, I guess it takes our kids to get smacked in the mouth once and then they wake up, so unfortunately I hope it doesn't happen often for us, but we came alive defensively, and we shut them out in the second half, and that was good.
Well, it was a terrific game, and congratulations and best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you, Coach. Good seeing you.
Back up to you, Bob.
All right, Stan, thank you very much. Packers win it 21-14 over St. Francis. We'll return to Cudahy to wrap things up on homecoming night. The home team wins it by 7.
5 days a week.
For you once again, kind of summarize everything that happened. St. Francis, we were talking about it in the first quarter, went down the field and found success on their opening drive. Then on their second drive, went to the air again and scored again. And then just like that, it was 14-0 visitors. But they didn't score the rest of the night. The Packer defense
stiffened, and the offense got on the board in the second quarter on this play. It was 14-7 at the half, and then in the second half, the Packer defense did all the work to keep that 14 on the board, and the offense went to work on the ground. Zhang and Post alternated, running that pigskin up and down the football field and into the end zone twice. And that was the difference in the second half as the Packers outscored the Mariners 14-0 in the second half to win it 21-14. For my partner Stan Grove and all the guys and gals in the trucks and on the cameras here, this is Bob Brainerd saying so long from Cudahy. You've been watching the Time Warner Sports Prep Football Game of the Week. Good night, everybody.